In hotspots around the world, some young people infected with COVID-19 have developed a mystery illness that can lead to heart attacks. Nadia Daly takes a closer look at the condition and a patient in New York.
New York for the past few months has been going through a lot, and especially New Yorkers, dealing with grief and loss of life, loss of loved ones.
17-year-old David Vargas has watched the pandemic devastate his home of New York City over the past few months. But the healthy teenager never expected to end up in hospital himself.
I had fever, headaches, body aches. I woke up at around 4 a.m. With a sharp pain on my chest, as well as difficulty breathing. And I've never felt that pain before. And it was then that my parents and I knew that it was best to see a doctor.
David's father was worried too.
So I told him, I gotta call 911 so we can have the ambulance come and pick you up and take you to the hospital right away.
And it was there that I was tested for COVID, and it came back positive.
Doctors at Mount Sinai were shocked the otherwise healthy teenager with no underlying conditions was showing signs of a heart attack.
The doctors and I had no clue what was happening. It's not just terrifying, but a complete shock because I have never had any medical issues, let alone cardiac issues, and neither has my family.
It turned out David had developed a rare condition linked to COVID-19 called multisystem inflammatory syndrome. The condition, which seems to only affect children and young people, causes fever, rash, low blood pressure and stomach pain. It affects organs including the heart, pushing the body's immune system into overdrive. The rare but potentially deadly syndrome was first documented in COVID-19 patients in New York, London and northern Italy in late April.
This took us by surprise because everything we knew about COVID was that it was a mild disease in children.
As the head of paediatric critical care at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, Dr. George Ofori-Amanfo has treated more than a dozen children with the disease. He and his team were concerned when David arrived last month.
So he was very sick when he came in. And back then, we also hadn't seen as many cases as we have seen today, for instance. And so the concern we had was quite high because we just had no idea the trajectory of this disease and how it behaved. But I think with each passing day, with each passing week, we're learning more about the disease.
David spent a week in hospital with his father by his side.
And I was worried because we never had any health issue in my family, no problem with the heart problems. So, and not knowing what was going on, it was very, really scary.
Chest again, so let's do that.
No children in Australia have been diagnosed with the syndrome yet, but the government has commissioned a nationwide study to monitor the situation.
Coronavirus has been intriguing in that the effects on children have been very different to the effects on adults, which is unusual for respiratory viruses.
Dr. Philip Britton is one of the infectious disease paediatricians taking part in the program from Westmead Children's Hospital and says Australia's success in suppressing the virus means it's unlikely there'll be cases here.
Given that we've only had 300 cases in children and young people under 20 in Australia, we think that the likelihood of this happening here is extremely low.
At home in New York, David Vargas is recovering from his ordeal and looking forward to life in his city returning to normal.
Even with the hardship and all this sadness, I think that we as New Yorkers are still standing strong, loving each other, and providing our support for the people on the front lines.